Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's KGibsGP here, and today we've got highlights from round 20 of Formula Xbox Season 6, and this time we're at Brazil, at Interlagos, in what is a little technical circuit that certainly tests your downforce in the middle sector and tests your driving ability. It's quite hard on tyres as well. The soft tyre is a bit of a bubblegum tyre here, so it does fall apart pretty quickly. And so the mediums and the hard compound are surely going to be the order of the day. And as you can see, qualifying Saturday commenced. And as we head up through turns 6 and 7, we got a little bit squirrely on the exit, lock up into 8, go off onto the grass, and that is our first attempt binned. So it's going to have to be a second attempt. As you can see, even only halfway around our first flying lap, we're actually 4% wear on the left front. So as you can see, it's going to be very, very difficult to keep these soft tyres in for more than a few laps in the opening stint of the race, and that led a lot of people to in fact use the medium compound tyres in qualifying. Of course, that gives you the tyre advantage as well due to the tyre glitch. And as you can see, it's a 1:11.489 for us on our first attempt, so not a bad one. But our second attempt was even better, and as you can see, coming across the line now to start that lap, heading into turn 1, slight lock up on the left front, but I've just shown you turn 1 and 2 here because we got a fantastic line through there, and as you can see, the delta is just going up and up and up. Sensational. So 3 attempts up in the first few corners, and then heading through to the end of the lap, we kind of just about held on to that advantage. We got a little bit squirrely coming out of Junchao, and that's essentially left us losing time all the way up the hill, and you do take that pain all the way to the finish line. But as you can see, DRS on, still 3 attempts up, come across the line with a 1:11.194, and it put us provisional P4, which became P6. So sensational that from Elusive Kev actually to get P5, his best qualifying in the season by quite a long way. And I'll take P6. It's one of my best qualifying results of the year, to be fair. Not quite up there with my P2 in Australia, but then I haven't been able to replicate that one all year long. So P6, starting on the soft tyre. We're going to try and get this soft tyre as far as we can, and then do 2 hard tyre stints after that. Maybe able to do a medium tyre for the last stint, but it just depends on how long we can get the middle tyre to last for, as we have 3, 4 and 5 red lights. As you can see, horrendous lag start for us there. We get absolutely mugged off the line. We're already down to P10 by that what is becoming a game-breaking bug for lag starts. So it's really cost us this time. We benefited from it in Mexico. We've definitely not benefited here in Brazil. And as you can see, Luke's had a moment there in P7, now P8 and then P10, as we've got Sam loitering behind us. He's going to go down the inside into turn 4. We've got no response to him there as he's taken the position, and we've just about had to tuck in behind him. So from P6 to P9, and we've got Luke all over our gearbox now, and we know how fast Luke is in that Toro Rosso, of course a championship contender, and with RBZ not here this week, he needs to make up as much ground as he can. Down the inside of me there, left me no space to go again, and Luke and Sam put some great moves on me, and here we go, Casey Legend returning the compliment as well, putting an awesome move on me around the outside there, heading into Bico de Pato. We've got all on the grass in the exit. There goes Sinan, so all the faster drivers are coming straight past me, and these guys have started on the harder compound tyres as well, so this is not ideal for our race whatsoever. So down to P12 already. It's one of the worst first laps I've seen in a long time, and it's a worse first lap even for Luke, who's in the wall, and that could be his championship hopes gone up in smoke. He's going to need a safety car or something like that now if he's going to pull that back. But as you can see, it's a 1:22.9 for our first lap of the race. That includes our race start, which was horrendously laggy, and as you can tell, it's a big recovery operation required from here if we're going to get some big points today. So up to P9 as some people dropped out of this lead battle and some people pitted, and as you can see, we've got a good slipstream on Sinan now, so the DRS is activated. He has DRS as well, though. I'm going to look to the inside. I've got flashbacks to Barcelona happening now as I go down the inside of the Renault. The two of us get very close at turn 1, but Sinan gives me room, banging wheels as we head through turn 2. Sinan, though, keeps that place, so good defending there from him. I was sweating on that one. If you haven't seen what happened in Barcelona, go back and watch the highlights for that now. That was, yeah, decidedly interesting incident between me and Sinan. I nearly go into the back of him at Desquido de Lago as well, and just about avoid him, but life flashed before my eyes there for 1 minute. I could see a no-quali penalty for Abu Dhabi looming large there. but we just about got away with it. And you can see already 39%, and then that becomes 51% tyre wear by lap 5. So as I said earlier, these tyres are a bit bubblegum tyre-ish. They don't really go very far at all, and while they give you good pace to start with, as you can see, Worthy on the hard compound tyres now has already got a lot more tyre left than me, and has made those hard tyres work well. So even by lap 5 entering lap 6, the hard tyres now are a better tyre to be on than these used softs. So we've got SRL Monster, who's already actually boxed and got rid of his soft tyres, now behind us on the road. We're going to pit at the end of this lap, at the end of lap 6, for another set of tyres, potentially. At this point, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, but as you can see, we do dive into the pit lane, looking to brake for that marker board. I probably braked a little bit too early, could have just squeezed a few more attempts out of the pit entrance, but it's always better to brake earlier than to avoid getting a drive-through penalty, as that can really ruin your race. So, on to the first set of hard tyres. The first of what we imagine is going to be 2 sets of these hard tyres. They're very durable, and in practice I found that my pace wasn't actually too bad on them. So, yeah, we're going to try and go with 2 sets of hard. If we can maybe go medium for the last stint, then that will be ideal. But we'll just see how long we can go in this middle stint of the race. And as you can see, the clouds have cleared, the sun is now shining, track temperature going up as well. Will that help us? Will it not? Are the game mechanics strong enough to carry that sort of weather condition theory into the game? Probably not. But there we go. SRL Hype, meanwhile, has gone and overtaken us there, and there's no point really fighting him. It's a bit like the scenario we had with Liam in Malaysia, where a reserve is trying to overtake us, and of course reserves don't score points, so there isn't really a massive necessity to battle him. We're going to take the place back at the end of the race anyway, even if he does finish ahead of us. However, up ahead is a fight that is definitely worth fighting for, as we've got Drastic Devil in P7, my teammate of course at Red Bull, and yeah, this is all about pride. He's in the same Xbox party as me as well, so it's been playing the Jaws music at him for the past few laps as I've been closing him down in this stint. And you can see we're already on lap 18, because not a lot happened after I came out of the pits, other than I was catching Drastic Devil, and Worthy, after he merged on the medium tyres, was catching me. As you can see, lap 19, that gap stabilised between me and my teammate, and here comes Worthy now, who very much wants to get the job done on me. He's on the medium tyres. There's not a lot of point fighting this particular battle either, as with DRS he's just gone screaming past me there. And my hope is that he's going to get onto the back of Drastic Devil now and cause him some grief, give him a headache, and bring him into my clutches as well. As to be fair, Worthy isn't really my race, at least for now. If he has to make another pit stop, then he'll most certainly become my race later on, but for now at least, it's a case of wanting just to get past Drastic Devil. So here we go, the 3 of us are about to do battle as we head on lap 20 up the hill now. Well, me and Worthy are going to have DRS on Drastic Devil, and although Drastic Devil's pretty aggressive in defence, you'd imagine he's going to have no defences for that Mercedes, who's going past on the outside. I set my fastest lap of the race at 1:13.5. Worthy's gone wide though. Drastic Devil retains the position, and I actually make it back up into P8 now. And of course I'm going to have DRS on Drastic Devil heading down this back straight now towards turn 4. So he hasn't covered the outside line. I'm going to go to the inside, and it's on the brakes. We've set a purple first sector. I'm just about going to cover his runoff as well, stop the cutback from happening, and it is P7. So we've got the job done. Can we hold him off now? You'd hope so, given that our pace on the hard tyre seems to be better than what his is. But let's wait and see through the sector 2. This is where we've had the advantage, so we've got to try and pull out a gap now. And as you can see, lap 22, we have made that pay and made that advantage up that we needed to. So heading into the pit lane now, we've been blocked by Prototype Budgie on the way in. He actually had a puncture at this point, so he couldn't really help that he was going slowly on the pit entry there, but that certainly cost us a bit of time. And in the battle with Drastic Devil, he's carried on an extra lap, so he may actually jump us now if he can get a good in lap. Obviously it depends on what the condition of his tyres are like, but if they are in good enough nick to bang in a quick lap, then we could be in trouble here. So we need a good out lap. As you can see, we emerge from the pits P9, Sam behind us in P10 on the soft tyre, so you'd imagine he'll be coming past us very shortly indeed, with only a few seconds separating us at the moment. Lap 24, if you look on the map now, you can see that yellow dot emerging from the pit lane is Drastic Devil, and although he did get that extra lap on us, and although he didn't get held up in the pit lane by a Prototype Budgie, we have managed to retain the position over him and actually build up some time as well. So excellent news there, and not so excellent news immediately afterwards as my controller disconnects and it signs me out of the game. So I've recently purchased an Elite controller, and it clearly doesn't like me yet because it's disconnected even though the battery was there was plenty of charge in it. I use a play and charge kit, so I was decidedly disappointed by that one. It allowed Sam to get through, but Sam then subsequently boxed a lap later anyway, so no harm done really in the end there as we go and set a 13.2, pace just going up and up all the time as the fuel burns off, and these hard tyres can run pretty much all day long. So as I said earlier, I might think about the medium tyres. Well, Drastic Devil behind did make that switch to the medium tyres. He thinks he can get the stint length out of them to make them work for this final stint. I've taken the conservative approach. He's gone aggressive, and speaking of aggressive, he's taken some rather aggressive lines through turn 2. 3 laps in a row he's cut turn 2, and I'll certainly be taking that one to the stewards. But for now at least he's making the overtake stick. He's gone round the outside of me heading into turn 4, and I'm not best pleased with that one whatsoever for his corner cutting antics the past few laps, which have put him into play in this battle. And now he's going horrendously slowly through turn 6 and 7. I'm trying the outside line, but no cigar there. There's very little opportunity to get around the outside there as he's going tremendously slowly again through turn 8. I feel like Rosberg and Hamilton when Rosberg was shouting in his team radio telling Lewis to speed up in Abu Dhabi 2016. But the stakes are a lot lower than what they were back then. It's a P7 and P8 rather than a championship, as we've got DRS on Drastic Devil, who looked like he was going into the pits, that bailed out of it right at the last minute. And can we get him into turn 1? No, not quite close enough. But then on the apex he's got it all wrong. He's brake checked me. I've nearly gone to the back of him, and Christian Horner is going to be tearing his hair out on the pit wall. This is not what he wants to see from his two drivers. I've very rarely had a teammate this year, to be fair, given Drastic Devil's poor attendance record, but certainly on this one he's making his presence felt, as we've now got Drastic Devil pulling away out front on his mediums. He's made a horrendous cut there through turn 2 once again. Surely disqualification beckons for him now after all of those corner cuts that he's done. And meanwhile I've got to worry about Worthy behind me, who is certainly closing me in at a rate of knots, and as you can see on the map there's 3 or 4 cars behind him that are all closing me down as well. As we see Drastic Devil up ahead actually disconnects from the race. Whether it was because he was fearing disqualification or not, we don't know, but he's also left the party. So my teammate has left with 4 laps to go, and that's going to be an easy P6 for us for now. But, of course, these guys behind me are going to be on a charge, and they're all on the medium compounded tyres, so they're all on a faster compound than me, and most likely have a lot more talent than I do. So it's going to be backs to the wall now to try and hold them off, and this time I'm most certainly going to be defending from Worthy. So he's got DRS on me at the moment. We're going to take a defensive line into turn 1, hugging the middle of the road, and just about get the job done. This time we've gone deep into 1. That's going to compromise our run through 2 and through 3 and onto the straight. And of course this is a second DRS zone on the straight, so we're going to have to get super defensive going into turn 4 now if we're going to hold off the Mercedes. I go to the inside immediately. Worthy goes to my outside, later on the brakes than I am as well, but I've just about got the high ground for the corner and we covering him off into Desquido de Largo, and up the hill now I retain P6. But as you can see behind, as I give it a quick glance in my rear view, plenty of cars are in behind him as well and catching at a fair rate of knots. But we take P5 there from Liam, who had a drama as well, and heading on to the last lap now with P5 with Height ahead of us. The reserve of course in P4, he's a ghost car at the moment, so we take P4 from him, and suddenly this is the stakes are even higher as it's lap 36 to 36, and I have managed to build up a little bit of an advantage over Worthy. And as you can see, with a green sector time at the perfect time, it looks like we're going to retain P4. However, I do have 6 seconds of time penalties to consider as well, so where the guys behind me are going to finish is another matter. But we cross the line at least in P4 after a lovely race, a 1:13 flat, our fastest lap of the race on the final lap as well. But we do eventually fall to P7 with those penalties. Some penalties that were taken for some rather innocuous incidents as well, of the corner cutting variety. So it was just running wide in certain areas, like the exit of turn 7 for example, that did cost me in the final assessment. But P7, and hopefully will become P6 as well with SRO Height. Obviously P4 showing us Kimi Räikkönen on the timing screens, but obviously we'll jump ahead of him given that he is a fill-in for this week. So we managed to stay ahead of Worthy in the end. So that fight we had into turn 4 did prove effective and did prove important in the final assessment. But in any case, I hope you've enjoyed this race, folks. That has been Season 6 Brazil, and it'll be our final race of the season next time in Abu Dhabi, and we're still in the hunt for what is P8 in the championship. But for now, at least, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you very soon. Goodbye.